Welcome, Aquarius. This is your monthly focus for July 2016. My name is Tilly, and this is Tarot with Tilly. And before we begin, thank you. Thank you so much for your positive, loving, supportive energy that you send my way each and every day. I send it right back to you. You guys are incredible. Thank you so, so much, truly. Now, the readings are taking quite some time. They are taking quite some time to get out. And probably the main reason is because yesterday morning when I was meditating, it came to me on how to do a new layout for the monthlies, and there's a lot more information here, absolutely, so it takes more time to digress all that information to you, which I think is important. So the minute I laid it out too, it felt right. Okay, now when we are in a month, okay, so we come into the month and the sun is in an astrological sign for the second half of that sign. And then mid-month, we go into a new sign and new energy and new directions and new focuses. So it only makes sense that we have two cards. So I've named them the sun cards. And for you, coming into the month, we have the Four of Pentacles. And leaving the month, we have Temperance. So I'm just going to kind of give you an overview of how I have the cards laid down here. Sorry, I'm starting to get tired here. It's long, and it's, when you work with spirit, it does take a lot out of you. It does use a lot of your energy. But I'm still good, so we're going to go strong here. Now, it's laid out into 3 rows, okay, for the beginning of the month, middle of the month, and the end of the month. And then I have 5 columns. So we have a general focus. We have our love, relationships, our work, our career, money, finances. We have our spirituality. We have our well-being and health. And then, of course, we go out with our sun card. So now, do I see any transformation here, first of all? There's not really any big, huge transformational cards here. Negative cards. If anything, I would think it's your general energy in the very beginning of the month. Okay, so we'll start with your sun card, and then we'll go right into that card. But that's probably the biggest negative. There might be a negative actually in your spirituality around the full moon, around the middle of the month. And it does have a full moon there, so that could be a very strong energy for you. We'll get to that. We'll get to your spirituality. We'll start with the Four of Pentacles, though, which is the energy that you are walking into. Okay, now, first of all, there's something that's holding you back. Something holding you back from you embracing your talents, your gifts, what you want to do, but it's mainly talents and gifts. It's mainly your abilities. Not showing people what you bring to the table, hiding it under a rock. And chances are it's something in your life that you are working towards releasing to the universe, because we are kind of in the middle of this energy. So it could be an ongoing situation in your life, which kind of makes sense for the first card, excuse me, being a little bit on the negative side. Now, it's not a huge negative, okay, the Nine of Swords. This is usually where we're having sleepless nights. We are worried. We are concerned over things. We replay events from the past, probably from the day. We rethink our decisions. We wonder if we're capable. We wonder if we are going in the right direction, if we're doing the right things. There could be health worries here. But mainly these are small hurdles that we need to get over. Okay, it's you could be pulled in too many directions and not knowing where to put your energy, or putting your energy in the right place. Or you might be dropping the ball on certain parts of your life because other parts of your life are taking precedence, and now the guilt sets in. Now it's like we feel like we can't accomplish, or we're not good enough, or we've got to try harder, or it's all those things that strip us of our self-confidence. So be aware of that in the first week. Absolutely. As we move on into the month and we hit the middle of the month, we have the Ace of Cups. So this is embracing new paths, new passions, new dreams, new desires, walking into new opportunities. This could be new love coming into your life. Definitely passions and dreams, new pathways opening up to you. And then as we go towards the end of the month, we have the Page of Cups. So this could be a mentor coming in to help us. We could become the mentor depending on where we are in our life path. This is definitely a very strong spiritual presence. The veil is very thin for you. This is a beautiful week to talk to our angels, our spirit guides, God, the universe, in what we want, and to give up our affirmations to God, our angels, our spirit guides, the universe, in what we want to have happen in our life, and what we want to accomplish, on where we want to go, in what we want to do, and what we want to become. So very much somebody new could be entering your life in the second and third weeks, okay, especially in love, but in new directions, new opportunities, new ways of doing things. In love, we have the Eight of Pentacles for our very first card. So, this is a very realistic approach to love. This is knowing that love just doesn't happen. Love does just happen, but it takes more than that to keep a relationship growing strong, growing deeper, day by day, year after year. It takes work, it takes determination. And you're really, if you are in a relationship, this is where you're really stepping up to the plate. You are really giving it your all, your best effort. You're really putting yourself last, maybe. You're putting them first. Or you're putting the relationship first. This is where we're putting in hard work. We're putting in effort. We're raising the bar on what we do in order to make that other person know that they are special to us, that we love them, that we're there for them, that we've got their back, that we support them in what they want to do. And maybe, just maybe, it also works in the fact that we are working hard to feel that love. To feel that love back, to feel that security back, to feel that respect back. Now, if we're not in a relationship, we are looking at what we really need in the relationship, and we might be even a lot more choosy in who we are dating, who we are shaking hands with, who we are agreeing to go to coffee with. Our standards are a lot higher here. We want the total package. And we're willing to work hard for that total package. We're willing to give it our all, but it's got to be worth it. It's got to have potential. Middle of the month, we have the King of Swords. So this could be very passionate energy, okay? He's a very passionate man, the King of Swords. He knows what he wants and he goes after it. He doesn't let anybody or anything stand in his way. Now, this can come across as a negative energy in the fact that sometimes we are starting conversations with our significant other on what we want in the relationship, on what we are striving for within the relationship, and it may come across as self-centered, like we don't have their backs, like we don't care about their feelings. It's all about us and what we want. So choose your words wisely. Meditate or pray on what you are trying to convey so that they understand, they get it, they buy into it. But this could be very passionate energy. This could be very passionate energy because he knows what he wants and he goes after it. And nothing's going to hold him back from achieving his goals when it comes to love, when it comes to dreams. So this could be where you get the courage to ask that person out, where you've been kind of, watching them and that's not the right time. And this is where you kind of step up to the plate and you say, I'm going to ask them out. If they say no, then I'm in the same boat. If they say yes, this could be the best moment of my life going forward. In relationships, this is where the passion grows. You want them, you want to feel their love, you want to feel their embrace, you want to feel their passion. You want them to feel your passion. And then towards the end of the month, we have strength here. So it's a belief and a strength in ourselves, in who we are within the relationship, knowing ourselves within the relationship, knowing what we want, finding great strength within relationships, being able to feel that security within the relationship, the love within the relationship. So it goes back to being a lot more grounded and putting yourself first. Once again, this is a lot about putting yourself first within relationships, making sure that your needs are met, making sure that you are getting out of the relationship what you desire. And so for new relationships, I think you're going to be a lot choosier about the relationship. Although that middle of the month, where there's a lot of passion there, you just might be going for the sensuality, the passion. It could be lust. But on both ends, you kind of ground yourself. So just be careful of the situations you're putting yourself in love relationships, especially if you are not attached, or if you're in a relationship that your eye doesn't wander and it gets you into hot water in another area, because that could be very passionate energy there for yourself. For work, career, finances, well, we start with the High Priestess, so what a beautiful card, because this is the spiritual magic that can come in. This can make a path open up for you that you never expected, or you wanted desperately, but you never really thought it would be. This is opportunities opening up to you, and it's magical opportunities. It's like you're in the right place at the right time. By just a series of events, you see a posting for a job that you've always wanted, or somebody approaches you for a promotion or a job that you weren't even on the lookout for. So expect a little bit of magic to come in. That's the new moon energy, the beginning of the month. So new moon energy is all about new paths, new horizons, new ways of doing things, new ways of going forward. So spiritual magic can come in and just light up your life in a spectacular way. As we go towards the middle of the month, we have justice. So we want the balance in our life. We want harmony, and we want joy when it comes to what we do, how we create money, and what we do to make a living. We need to feel the balance. We need to feel like we are in a secure job or a secure place. We need to create the harmony. So we need to get along with people. We're not going to allow the friction. We're going to, if there is friction, we're going to put an end to it, because we can't have that. We've got to have joy in what we're doing. There's got to be not so much passion, although passion is always part of it. But you need to feel solid in what you were doing, in where you were going, in what you were involved in. So, with the High Priestess as the very first energy here, okay, something new and wonderful could come to you, but it could throw you really off balance. It could throw you into a whole new environment where you are not feeling steady on your feet, like you really have control of the situation. Your self-confidence may be dwindling here a little bit, but you're being forceful about bringing your confidence in, showing them what you can do, creating the balance in your life going forward. Now, the end of the month, we have the sun, so you sparkle. It could be that you meet somebody in the very first part of the month and nothing really happens, and at the end of the month it does happen, because this is things gravitating to you. This is like you are a magnet. This is where you have the charisma, you have the right words, you can use your charms, you can spread your magic, you can show them what you bring to the table so easily. This is a beautiful time to go out and go for job interviews, ask for that promotion or raise, go after new opportunities, start new businesses. The energy here, you shine. You're a magnet for good things to happen to you. For spirituality, we have the Ace of Swords. This is the aha moments. This is the epiphanies. And isn't it funny that it sits right next to the High Priestess here for the spiritual magic coming in? So meditation, prayer, absolutely. Affirmations, absolutely. But be aware of what's happening. You could have an epiphany. You could have a thought process that just opens your world, especially in career, especially in money matters. Okay, this is new plans forward. The epiphanies happening, the aha moments coming in, and that could be the spiritual magic that happens. That you get this idea out of nowhere. You wake up out of a deep sleep and an idea comes to you first thing. Write it down. Think about it during the day. Research it. It could mean a whole new world opening up to you. Now we have the Five of Swords in the middle of the month. This one kind of worries me a little bit, because here we stand with these swords around us and we're holding a sword and people are walking away from us. This tells me that if you are in some kind of spiritual practice, you may be taking it over the deep end. You might be leaning too much in one way or expecting too much to happen because of a spiritual practice or something that you're doing or something that you're expecting. Or it could be leading you astray in some way and you really need to pull yourself back in. You might get defensive with other people and their thoughts towards spirituality. There could be a little bit of conflict here. It could actually open you up to a whole new world too, because it sits right next to the Two of Cups in your health and well-being. It may be that you are walking away from people that don't have your same beliefs, that you're being very strong. You could be even very defensive about your spiritual practices, what it means to you. Not necessarily is it going to be a negative in your life, but be cautious of where you are going with your spirituality, what you are expecting from it. It's like somebody who says, if I say every morning I'm going to win the lottery today, that I'm going to win the lottery. Your definition of lottery and Spirit's definition of lottery may be two completely different things. Be careful what you wish for. I remember one time, oh gosh, I was so poor. And so it was one heap of metal to another heap of metal for my cars, right? It was the cheapest car I could find that I could get a safety on so I could drive and it would go from point A to point B, but none of them were very good cars. And I would see my friends driving around in cars that looked pretty decent, and I was just like, please give me a car that looks good. Please give me a car that looks good. And lo and behold, this guy was selling this New Yorker, and it was gold. Okay, it was beautiful, a gold. You don't see gold cards, but this was a gold car, and I thought, wow, that looks so sharp. And it was way back in like the early '80s, and yet this car even talked. When I opened the door, it said door is ajar. And when I put my key is in the ignition, and I thought, wow, doesn't this look good? I couldn't see any rust on it, and the guy was selling it like super cheap, and I thought, oh, finally, right? Be careful what you put out to the universe. You have to be so specific. It's unbelievable because wow, did that car look good. Driving down the highway, one of my first trips in it, and I'm flying down the highway because you fly down the highway, and all of a sudden it says your electrical system will now fail, and the car went dead. Just went dead right there. And it took everything I had to move that steering wheel so I could get off the highway and not get like creamed by a vehicle behind me. And then the computer started messing up. And so when I got in, it went through every single thing it said, every single thing that could go wrong with the car. The trunk was open, the door was ajar, the transmission was going to fail, the tires were low, the oil change was needed. It just repeated everything. And the muffler fell off when I was on a long distance trip. I had the muffler in the back seat for a while. I can't believe I didn't get a ticket for that. It was just one major catastrophe after another with this car, but boy did it look good. So that was the last time I asked for a vehicle that looked good. Then I went back to, as long as it got me from A to B and it ran and it didn't need repairs on a constant basis, I was good with that. But so you have to be careful of what you ask for because you just may get it. And so be very careful with that energy of what you are asking for and make sure that you are detailed with it. That's a true story. Now, the Six of Pentacles is the final part of the month for you here for your spirituality. And this is about the give and take. Okay, so if you are, this card can play out several ways depending on your life path. If you are one that is giving, that is involved in charities, it's telling me that good things are going to come back to you. If you're not doing those things, you need to look at where you can give. Give to society, give to another person, because it will come back to you. But you need to be, you need to open up your heart. You need to maybe give an hour a month to a charity, maybe a soup kitchen. Maybe it's just a matter of smiling a little bit more often to people and giving um, that random compliment to a stranger, or helping somebody with their bags, or doing something for a sick friend, or maybe they've lost a loved one, so you put together a care package for them so that they're eating something through their time of sadness and sorrow. It's about reaching out your hand and helping other people. Now, if you already do that, this tells me that good things are going to come back in your life. But if you're not doing that, it's time to look at how you can give of your spirituality to other people, to raise their light, raise their well-being. For health and well-being, we have the Hangman. So the beginning of the month, and once again we go back to the Nine of Swords for the energy of worry and concern. So, and then we have the Hangman. So I think probably a lot of your worries and concerns that we first discussed has to do with health issues. Am I eating properly? Do I need more exercise? How do I incorporate that into my life? Maybe there's a bad habit that is dissipating your energy in some way. Maybe you drink too much or eat too much or smoke, or maybe you do recreational drugs. You know your life. But the Hangman here is you really need to think about what you are doing, if you're treating your body as a temple, what you are doing in order to manifest vitality, health, and happiness going forward. Okay, and there is a lot of thought here, and I see your thoughts as being full of turmoil. If you look, okay, all the waves, the water there, all around your head. That is the thought process. And it's a calamity here. Now, I think you come out of this energy surprisingly well, because we have the Two of Cups as our next card. So middle of the month, you see new ways of doing things. This could be somebody new coming into your life that really transforms you. Maybe they jog every day, and now they say, hey, why don't you join me on the morning jog? And you're like, I haven't jogged in 20 years. Okay, sure, I'd love to jog with you. And they start to get you into a health routine or something like that. It could be that you meet somebody, a personal trainer. This could be where you lean on somebody to help you with a goal. Maybe you want to lose 5 pounds. It's really easy to cheat if nobody else knows that you want to lose that 5 pounds. But when you have somebody to answer to, it makes it a lot harder, and it makes you more determined to be able to give them good news that you did lose the 5 pounds, so to speak. So this is good to bring new people on board in your health, in your well-being, to help them help you champion yourself to a more successful routine, lifestyle. And then we have the Ten of Cups. So whatever you really decide this month at the beginning of the month, and you start to implement mid-month, we have the Happily Ever After card. So it turns out to be long-term sustainable good fortune in your life. It's something that you can do. This is your happily ever after. This is you accomplishing goals. This is you setting new goals, higher goals, raising the bar on yourself, taking it to the next level. And that's futuristic, and that's down the road. But this card is telling me that whatever you do put in place, if you use this energy wisely, it will turn out to help you years and years and years down the road. So it is important for you to use the Hangman's energy at the beginning of the month to really look at your life and see what kind of bad habit you want to get rid of, or what lifestyle changes you want to make in your life. Maybe it's just eating healthier. Maybe it's getting enough sleep every night. But whatever you decide, and you start the new beginnings around the full moon, it becomes long-term, it becomes sustainable, it becomes a way of life quite easily for you, and it revitalizes you in some way. It brings you to your happily ever after. Now, as we go mid-month to the end of the month, and of course to mid-month next month, it's temperance. So it's balance. It's balance coming in. We have justice around the middle of the month. We have new beginnings. Could be new partnerships. We had the Ace of Cups mid-month. And then we go to the Page of Cups. So I could see a lot where, and then of course the Sun in work and career. So I would think that you're starting to feel the balance. That the balance is starting to become something that is staying around. It's not one step forward and 2 steps back anymore. You're starting to feel like you're moving forward, that things are happening, that things are coming into order in your life, that things are starting to come together, that things are starting to work in your favor. So I think this balance is a good balance, because I think you're going to start feeling the balance rather than needing to bring the balance in. I think that happens right around the full moon, and then new events come into play that makes you feel like you are moving forward. And it not just makes you feel like it, it is coming into a much solider path for you going forward. More solid path for you going forward. You're feeling the balance. You're feeling like you're getting somewhere. You're feeling like you can accomplish. You feel like you can do. Your vitality is starting to raise, and you're off to the races. So until we meet again, remember, I do love you.